Greetings, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about Natlan, a region that was promised to be the most epic and grandiose in Genshin Impact's history, but has sparked quite a bit of controversy within the community. I'll share my thoughts on what I liked, what disappointed me, and what issues I believe are plaguing this region. Keep in mind that this is just my opinion, and if you disagree, that's totally fine. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, and I'll make sure to read and respond. Early teasers. Promises versus reality. When the first Natlan teasers dropped, I was filled with excitement. We were promised a raging sea of fire, giant volcanoes, and blood-soaked arenas. However, upon release, it turned out that the focus was not on the atmosphere of war, but rather on new mechanics and the Saurian companion. This was unexpected, and for many, including myself, it felt like a questionable choice. The trailers also gave the impression that Natlan would be the most dynamic and intense region. We expected fierce battles and constant tension, but in reality, most of the region consists of peaceful settlements and festive celebrations. The developers clearly prioritize spectacle and exotic aesthetics, but in doing so, they lost the original atmosphere they had promised. 2. The region's atmosphere. Where's the war? After Fontaine's finale, Neuvillette stated that Natlan was a land of war where battles raged like fire. But when we arrive, we find a bright, cheerful world filled with dancing people, tribal parties, and DJ booths. Of course, conflicts exist beneath the surface, but the overall spirit of the region does not convey the constant struggle we were led to expect. Many aspects of war feel underdeveloped. The factions that were supposed to be in conflict are mostly just sparring, and large-scale battles are almost non-existent. War here is more of a backdrop rather than a central theme. We expected something grand and intense, but instead, it feels like just another region with its own unique features, without the promised chaos and fury. 3. Characters. Kids with weapons. One of the most impressive aspects for me was Mavuika. Her charisma, strength, and leadership qualities are top-notch. She truly feels like an Archon. However, the problem is that many Natlan characters don't look like battle-hardened warriors.
So you're a killer! Let me see your war face! You got a war face? Ah! That's a war face! Now let me see your war face!
They resemble kids playing heroes. This creates a strange dissonance. On one hand, we're facing a fearsome enemy with lives on the line, and on the other, we're fighting alongside children. Moreover, many quests lack depth in character interactions. We're introduced to new characters, but they don't have enough time to develop, and their stories end without leaving a lasting impression. In other regions, we had memorable figures that we encountered multiple times, but here, even secondary characters quickly fade from relevance. 4. Technology. Illogical decisions. This is where things start to get messy. Natlan is presented as a land of tribes living in harmony with nature, yet they have DJ booths, motorcycles, and artificial intelligence. The technology in this region feels too advanced, even compared to Fontaine, disrupting the consistency of the lore. Each region has always had a unique style justified by its story and mechanics. Sumeru is the land of knowledge. Fontaine is the land of technology. So what is Natlan? A mix of everything? That feels odd. The combination of traditional culture and cyberpunk elements is especially jarring. Some factions live in tents and use simple tools, while others control machines and high-tech devices. This contrast could have been interesting, but in the context of Teyvat's world, it just feels out of place. 5. Story issues. The Ode of Resurrection and Inconsistencies. The Ode of Resurrection sounded like an intriguing concept, but its execution was questionable. It seemed like it would be a major element of Natlan. Yet in the end, plot armor saves characters when convenient, while in other cases, death is portrayed as unavoidable. This creates a sense of inconsistency. The Ode of Resurrection becomes a narrative loophole. It removes any stakes from character deaths. How can you worry about a character's fate if you know they can just be revived? Yet at the same time, during the climactic battle, we see massive death tolls, creating another dissonance. The game has been presenting Natlan as a vibrant and almost childlike region, yet we suddenly witness thousands of deaths. Who is this content even meant for? It doesn't seem appropriate for children, yet the overall tone doesn't cater to adults either. 6. The Capitano Battle. Expectations versus reality. Capitano was introduced as a legendary warrior capable of challenging the gods. But in the end, he was defeated by Mavuika. A strong fighter, sure, but still just a human. Players had much higher expectations for this battle than what we ultimately got. On top of that, the fight itself wasn't as epic as it should have been. It looked cool, but the scale and difficulty were underwhelming compared to what fans had hoped for. In the end, Capitano, who had remained a mysterious figure for so long, failed to live up to expectations. 7. Gameplay aspects. Mechanics that don't work. The developers introduced several new mechanics, but not all of them are convenient or engaging. For example, the Saurian Companion was an interesting idea, but its role in gameplay turned out to be less useful than expected. Many players feel that it's more of a distraction than a helpful feature. The Night Spirit mechanic was fine, until it started showing up everywhere. In Abyss, we're basically forced to use Natlan characters to clear floor 12 efficiently. Then there are events where you simply can't achieve the maximum score unless you have a character who utilizes the Night Spirit. This feels unfair. Yes, similar things have happened before, but never to such an obvious level of forced marketing for new characters. So, Natlan ended up being a mixed bag. It has some amazing moments, like the Realm of Night, intriguing concepts such as ancient names, and strong characters like Mavuika. However, it also suffers from inconsistencies, weak storytelling, and an unbalanced focus on certain characters. Perhaps over time, the developers will refine and expand on certain aspects, but for now, Natlan leaves me with mixed feelings. That said, the region is still evolving, and we have many more events ahead. Future updates might address some of these shortcomings and introduce new storylines that make Natlan feel more cohesive and logical. What do you think? How do you feel about Natlan? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's discuss.